Alrighty, so headed out to take the bike to get the clutch, the Koso clutch upgrades installed. I'm telling you, it's gonna be really, really cool, so definitely stick around to see this. Hopefully have a much further in-depth tutorial than I've done before and more professional. Alrighty, so we are here now. Oh yes. So here's where the start to our adventure inside a motor. Not really, because I already opened it up. Alrighty, what's going on, guys? Now we have made it to 713 Motorsports. We're here with John today, and this is a place I've been coming to for years and years. They do amazing work right here in the Western PA area. So definitely come check them out if you have any problems with your Grom that you need fixed. But we're just getting started here with taking off the swing arm bolt to get this whole assembly off with the brake.
Foot peg stay. Right now, I'm removing the bolts for the rear master cylinder to get the foot peg stay off easier, so we get a little better access to get the clutch cover off. Get my hands in here. Trying to remove as little as possible. Still may have to remove the, there we go.
So the first step that we're going through here is taking off the exhaust, and John, you said why?
Basically, so once I get the side cover off, even though you have...
So how many bolts?
You got 2 for your exhaust on the head itself.
All right.
And then there's 2 in the back section. Once you get your foot pegs to stay off, you get 2 extra bolts there. And that's basically about it, as I can see.
That's recording. All right.
Okay, right now you have the oil drained out of here already, correct?
Yep.
Okay. Right now we'll get ready to pull the bolts out to get the clutch cover off. Stop there. Clutch key line, it's disconnected now. You get the bolts in. And I recommend when you're going to put the bolts back in, try to get them by hand to get the proper torque to it.
There's a dipstick in it. That's why.
Gotcha.
And real quick, these alignment pins, I've dealt with these, but I never knew what they were called or anything. So right here, make sure you do not lose those.
All right, now, did you need to get this off?
So for the installation, the oil spinner actually needs to come off to get the clutch pack out because it's blocking it. You could, I guess you could just change the lifter plate without taking this off, but that's another problem I ran into. I wouldn't even have been able to do that myself.
Need to get this off of here then?
Yeah.
Ah, I see. You need a spanner socket.
So at this step, I wanted to pause and do a quick cut because this is where I messed up. This is how far I got yesterday, and getting into the oil spinner and the clutch pack, you have to make sure the gears don't spin. So a lot of people say to just use a penny if you don't have the gear mesh thing. And I've opened this up before, used a penny, and it's dropped down, but then I've caught it. And yesterday, going through this, the penny actually slipped into the crankcase. It was kind of a stupid mistake, not really thinking that it might drop back down to there, but the reason I didn't is because I've done it multiple times and the penny's never actually slipped back into the crankcase. So that happened. That's why we're here today, but for a more professional video, kind of worked out for the better.
Seems that we don't have the tools, I have to improvise and build one. Now it's kind of a crash course. I cut the slots in it. This is ultimately what it should look similar to by the time I'm done, or pretty close. I'm probably still gonna have to do some kind of filing to it. I cut part way through here, and I have to figure out how to cut the rest of the way through now.
So now that fits onto there.
Now I have to weld a cap on here and figure out if I'm gonna probably weld a nut on here of some sort, or maybe weld a flat cap and then the nut, and go from there. If I have an old socket, I'll just weld the socket on.
It is very bright. I glanced over for just a half second.
That's why I said that you got. If you look at it this way, it's not too bad. You start getting like that, and it starts.
Well, that is a finished weld, though. Hold on, let me focus.
Not the prettiest, but
nice. And like you said, this is just for the purpose of holding that down. Doesn't need to be the prettiest weld.
all right. It's just a homemade tool. Even if it just works once, I'll be fine with it.
Yep.
Crude looking, but effective.
It works. It'll work.
Yep.
So now we're actually going to be putting that onto the drill and taking out this.
That's a cordless
Will it
half-inch
move?
impact.
Perfect. Nice. Look at that.
Hour later.
I guess that's the first time I've seen it in the Grom.
By chance?
I believe.
Was it done into that hole?
Yeah, I think it
or
went
underneath here.
Everything you do will be done on a corner.
So now the objective is to find the penny out of the engine,
That
and gonna have to dig in there.
they own 92% of the biggest pharmaceutical company in the world.
Oh.
Right there.
Yep.
And he wants to
Yep.
vaccine.
We found our penny.
Young guys never use hospitalizers. It's all flat. It's out west with steel.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yep. There it
they
is.
went on-
Didn't think so.
All the things adjust lower.
Right.
And then that copper tube will be like tucked in the back, so you gotta kind of.
Yep.
Yeah.
Four people less around the plate. But we're not working. He don't need money. Right? I'll pay for that. And it's got so out of whack.
Got it.
Nice.
There it is.
Wow.
Anyway,
I didn't even get my 2 cents worth out of it.
before now, they investigate.
Come down through here, it'll lift it up enough, hold the penny up. While using my flexible grabber down in there, I was able to grab it and pull it out of there.
Oh, so this is one of those little mini like mechanical arms. Interesting.
Alrighty, so as you can see, we have the clutch pack off, the oil spinner off, and now we go to assembling the new parts.
There's your clutch basket. There's your shim washer. That will go in next when you put the basket on, and that goes on. There's your clutch pack.
So those are still in good condition, I guess?
They look pretty good, yeah.
I'll keep
What
them.
you mainly want to do is you want to check the sides where they go into your basket here itself, the fingers.
Okay.
Your basket looks pretty good yet. You can see a wee little bit of where you can see the kind of dark spots there. That's from the clutch plates kind of banging around. So usually, I try to keep the sharp edge out. This is a rounded edge. At least most clutches, you want to have the sharp edge out,
Oh, I
facing
see.
outward. But since this clutch is backwards, I'll put it together this way. That's how they had it from the factories.
The stock springs here, you can actually see a visual difference how much thicker the Kosos are, but here's the stock one. I'm gonna squeeze it like as hard as I can here. Okay, here's the Koso. Not nearly.
Much stiffer.
Not nearly. And that's just with one, you know, with like this. So you're gonna have 6 of these things in there. Boom. Now real quick, just for the viewers, do you recommend soaking those for like a set amount of time? I know they've been soaked for now like over a day and a half. But
Some people like to soak them overnight. I like as long as you at least get oil on them. Depends on how much, if you're pressed for time or not.
right,
too.
right.
At least if you get some oil on them, then they shouldn't be too bad. Can't see where the splines are.
Sounds like I'll just do it myself.
Getting better at it, huh? Whenever you're going to loosen it, if you're using something like this is a clutch basket holder tool, if you're going to loosen it, well actually if you want to tighten it, put these in between here this way, because it's going to spin that way, and this is going to push down pressure on this, since you're going to spin it to the right clockwise to tighten it. Now when you're going to loosen it, flip them the opposite side. So when it's going left-handed, that's going to hit this to hold it.
Right.
Because you don't want it this way.
And then you're putting
You're going to lose it because you're putting all the stress on the posts here.
And those will probably break.
Most likely. Now let's try to do this again. See all the springs are seated in here. They're all set now.
And that was just again making sure that these parts where there's not, especially where there's not a bolt, that they're aligned.
Correct. And you want to try to go somewhat even. Go one too fast, and you could risk breaking one of these tabs off, or where the bolt goes in, it could break that tower off.
Yeah.
Just double check. All good.
Awesome.
There. Don't need the penny.
No penny.
There we go.
So the deal for that, just tap on it with the mallet.
I don't know if you want to try to look down in here. There's a couple of holes right there. Those should be some kind of oil passages.
Oh, I see,
There and
yeah.
there.
Yep.
Okay, there we go. You can see where the bolts were at. Now we can assemble, get the cover back on. And that's that.
So make sure everything's torqued but not too much.
Yeah, because you don't want to break anything.
Right.
Check, these bolts all look like they're the same length.
Yep.
Sometimes you'll have longer ones, but not in this case. Get your bolts on back in the right position. And these brackets first. Normally we would put a new gasket on, but this one's still in good shape since the bike's pretty much brand new yet. torque these yet here in a bit.
Yep, I was gonna say I noticed that you weren't fully going on them yet.
Trying to get the clutch cable hooked back up.
Yep.
Oh, come on.
Now we are just getting the clutch
There
cable
we go.
back on here. And that's another tip actually, to make sure that you don't tighten those down, because it's definitely easier to install that with that loose, to put that in. If you
Yeah.
tighten that down, it's gonna be much harder.
Make sure you get that pin line back up before you tighten the bolt the whole way down.
Yep. There's the actual exhaust port though. There's that out right in there. It's pretty cool. So a tip on to get the oil off, it's just some brake cleaner, that's all.
Brake cleaner and a paper towel.
Wow, that worked really well. Awesome.
Need you to assist me. Get that knot on.
On this side?
Yep.
Can you get that on real quick?
Get that bungee off the other side. I'm gonna have hooked in. Now, where the hell was the spring? It kind of worked out. I didn't really. There's only one mess with it tomorrow afternoon. Foot peg mount off of here.
Right, you don't necessarily have to take that off, right?
No, it just
Makes it
made it easier to get into everything,
Mm-hmm.
just in case. See what you're doing better.
So now, final touches here.
And it makes it nice having a lift work off too.
Yeah, it really does. This lift here has done wonders to me because it's the first time I've worked with it. And do you stand behind the Yamalube, or is it just what you have?
That's just what we have. That's good stuff.
Yeah, I heard good things about it. Alrighty guys, so that is the complete process of getting a penny out of the crank and changing out the entire clutch pack with the new stuff.
Correct. Yeah, new clutch plates, metals, fiber springs, and your new
Yeah.
spring retainer.
Now, were there any? There were a few times that like we had some holdups.
Well, the splines were one thing for the clutch because they're just kind of a pain in the butt. That style, that design of clutch.
Yep.
I never did care for that design, but some bikes have that. I know KX65s are like that. A lot of the smaller bikes, and I think the Honda CR85s are similar to that too.
Yep.
But so it's one thing to get the splines lined up, but then I did get it back together, and then I realized I forgot to put the oil splash pan that goes underneath the clutch basket, so I had to take the clutch basket back off, put the pan under it, and then slide it all back on as one unit.
Yep. So don't forget the pan, lining up those splines with the actual basket, right?
Well, the basket, that gear lines up with the clutch or the crankshaft gear, but you have to have the inner part, the inner basket, the inner hub,
Right, so
the
not
pressure
only-
plate,
yeah.
lined up with the splines on the shaft on your counter shaft.
Not only do you have the gear to
Main
worry
shaft.
about, but you have those other splines, so it's like a little bit of a harder process, but like as you did, just line them up.
Yeah, I
and-
tried to line up best I could. I put 2 dots on there
Yeah.
with the automatic center punch to try to get it as close as I could before I slid it together, and then it takes a little coaxing with just a soft faced hammer to get it onto the splines.
Yep. That's pretty much it. I mean, you did take the exhaust off, which is, you don't have to, but
Correct.
it's just a little easier to work on the thing.
We had to clean some of the oil off the
Right.
exhaust anyway, so it just made it easier to clean. Fill her back up with oil and it should be good to go.
Yes, sir. So shout out to John here at 713 Motorsports. I'm gonna go test this Grom out now and let you guys know how it is. Thanks.
I hope this was a very informative video for you.
Yep.
Take care. Signing off.